What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes of your time here with me tonight. Before we get right into this trade, I've just got to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. I know I tell you that every single video, man, but I mean it. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and that shit just completely blows my mind, bro. That's more than I ever could have asked for. I'm just glad that these videos are helping somebody out, okay? That's the goal, all right? We want to look at these trades so that you can identify them for yourself on your own charts without anybody else helping you out and make a trading career out of it, all right? So stick around to the end of this video. I've actually got a bonus trade here at the end for you. So let's get right into this, all right? Here we're looking at an hourly chart on the DJ30 just to look at the bigger picture, okay? And you can see we have 3 days of breakout traders in the market in the long direction. Okay, this is one of Stacy's 3-day setups. All right, it's one of the easier ones to identify for me. All right, and all it really means is that we have this Wednesday that breaks Tuesday's high, Thursday broke Wednesday's high, and Friday broke Thursday's high. All right, giving us our day 3 longs on Friday. Now, sometimes that day 3 will give us the trading opportunity, all right? But oftentimes the trade will take place the following day, and that's because that day 3 of breakout traders, okay, is a signal day. And a signal day is a day that alerts us to a potential trade the following day, okay? But that does not mean that just because we have a day 3 of breakout traders in the market, it doesn't mean we're going to automatically do something, right? So because we have a day 3 longs in the market, doesn't mean we're going to automatically short this market the following day. We still need certain things to happen to let us know that we have a safe and secure entry, okay? High probability. So when we come to the session, we want to be asking ourselves this question: are we working the high or are we working the low? In order to answer that question, first we need to mark off the current day's high and low going into the New York Open. Okay, in this case, we have a Tokyo London gap time high right here and a London low right here. And since we're trading a US index, the New York Open is 9:30 a.m. Okay, so when the market opens, are we trading back into that gap time high or are we trading back into that London low? And I hope it's pretty obvious for you to see here. We are trading back into that gap time high at 9:30. All right, does that make sense? So we need to be marking this off. And here you can see that that London low is actually a lower low on the inside, which is the setup for the pump and dump. All right, we have originally, when the day starts, our high here going into Asia, a low, that gap time high, and then in London we drop down through that current low of the day, putting in a lower low on the inside, okay, before this market pumps up into that New York Open, trading back into those highs to the left, right? Train your eyes to move horizontally at the levels for that nice, easy, low stress trade to the low of the day, right? Obviously, pretty big trade today. Now, I'll zoom in and show you the entries. I had to use a different thing. Somehow the slide got lost that I was going to use originally. But this is, if you're looking, we're looking right here, just zoomed in on this 1 minute chart, right? And so the first and aggressive sort of entry that we could have taken was right when these little levels were broken here. This is 929, okay? So those levels get broke, bam, we could enter right there. Stop loss above those structural highs, okay, with our target of either that lower low on the inside or this target that I have listed here is actually Friday's New York session low, and we go even through that, through the low of Friday here, right? The second and more safe entry, you call it, it's not aggressive, we're playing it a little safe, a little more comfortable, is after we break that level and we pull back into that level. You see it goes right back to those lows. You know how, you know, support is broken and then turns into resistance here. Okay. And then as soon as that last bullish candle is overcome, that's where I'm getting in that market stop loss above these structural highs, same target. Okay. Pretty easy. I hope that makes sense there on the DJ30. And then we're going to take a look at this trade on GU, or the British pound US dollar. Right? First thing I want you to see is this very nice high and low range that was put in place on Thursday. Okay, so there's our low, there's our high. Friday closes as an inside day. An inside day is a day that breaks neither the low or the high of the previous day, right? It's an inside day. And a lot of the times when I see an inside day, I trade inside days quite a bit, okay? And usually what I'm looking for is a false break of the inside day, which is exactly what we got today on GU, right? You can see here's our low. We actually break that low a few times before we go into the session, and we break it one final time in the London, New York gap time. Bam, we break that low for the trade right back to the opposite side of the range. The parabolic, explosive move from low of the day to high of the day, right? So here, you can see we have this higher high on the inside in the London session, okay? We have a high, a low, come back up, make another new high, then we start trading lower. London opens, we come and pop the top, we put in that higher high on the inside before we again start dumping down. We continue to dump through that gap time, right? We're trading back into those lows just before the session opens. And you can see if we zoom in here that those London lows get taken out right here in the gap time, just barely, right? We just wick through those lows before putting in this little reversal pattern and going higher, right? And that sweep of those London lows could be a clue as to what direction this market wants to go. Okay, this is our false break of the inside day. Okay, and here we're just taking a look at entries. You could have entered back here in the gap time. Okay, but if we're waiting for 9:30, this is our ideal entry here. Okay, when we come here, when we come to our charts here, we can see that all of this has already taken place. So we're like, okay, the low of the day may be locked in place here. Okay, so we're only looking for these long entries. When 9:30 comes, okay, we trade down a little bit, and then we engulf that. As soon as we engulf that bearish candle, that's the entry. Stop loss goes below these structural lows, okay, and we target that higher high on the inside, okay, as our target. Or, as you can see, I put these two entries here, two targets. This is targeting the high of that inside day, right? If we come through here, we sweep the low, we get that false break of the inside day to the downside. The logical target on the other side is the high of the inside day, okay? Because once we trigger that low of the inside day, that's getting breakout traders on the daily time frame to short this market, to sell low, okay? Because it broke that low, people are selling it thinking it's going to continue to go lower. And they get trapped on the wrong side of the trade. They're the sucker for the day, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you. You can see that entry there right around 9:30, just a few minutes after, okay? And you just be patient with yourself and with the market. Let it set up for you. Let it present that entry to you. and then act without hesitation. All right. So I hope that that makes sense. I hope that that was simple enough for us. We're going to continue to drill these trades on a weekly basis. So have no fear if it's confusing, if you don't get everything, you know what I'm saying? And please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've got my email in my channel description and my Discord link in there. And it's not for no reason, bro. Feel free to reach out to me in a private message or email, and I will get back to you. We can talk shop. If you got any questions, just shoot them to me in the email or in the Discord, or go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you got charts you want me to go over, trades you want me to analyze, let me know down below. Okay. Anyway, man, until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.